Hey yo guys, I'm back here to give you my review of WWE's Night of Champions pay-per-view. Took place last night from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and gotta say, for a pay-per-view that's a throwaway pay-per-view, it lived up to what it was. It was really a throwaway pay-per-view. Thumbs in the middle show for me. I mean, there was some good stuff on it. I mean, nothing incredibly fantastic or anything of that nature. One pretty bad match on the show, but then again, when, we're looking back from last weekend's pay-per-view of TNA's Victory Road, this was leaps and bounds better, but still, this pay-per-view wasn't that good. So anyways, let's just get into it. First match of the night we had was Chris Jericho announcing his mystery partner, who was, of course, The Big Show, and I gotta say one thing. I mean, yeah, The Big Show is not the best partner for Jericho. It's better than what it could have been. I mean, we could have had Kane. Would you have liked to see Kane as his partner? No. So I thought Big Show was better than some choices, but still not the greatest choices, considering, you could have picked someone like a Jack Swagger or a Dolph Ziggler, someone in that nature to get a nice rub off of Jericho and establish themselves. Really, to me, I thought the best thing that happened in this match was them basically building up Chris Jericho versus Edge for down-the-line pay-per-view. Honestly, that's what I thought was the best match. This match was fine. It was kind of weird, actually, for the crowd, because they didn't really know how to react to it, as Jericho and Big Show started out as the heels, then DiBiase and Rose were the heels, and Jericho and Big Show were the faces, and then at the end afterwards, after the finish, where, I thought they built up to the finish nice, I have to say that, doing, fake outs, or, the heels of, at this moment, were Rhodes and DiBiase and Legacy, were, doing distraction stuff, and distracting the ref and getting the advantage, and then, looked like they were going for their big move, and then Jericho hit a code breaker on DiBiase, and then the Colossal Clutch, and they got the finish, but then they were the heels at the end of it. Kind of weird, for a fan standpoint to get into it, but, that's my thoughts on that aspect of it. The match wasn't that great, really, but then, what can you expect when you have Big Show in it at this stage? Big Show really hasn't been that impressive. He's definitely added back a lot of the weight he had since he lost it, so. But he did have a new singlet, though. He looked very, very independent on with that singlet, but whatever, it's something new, I guess. I'll have to just get to adapt to it. I mean, it's the first time seeing it, of course, but yeah. And then CM Punk came out, cut a pretty nice little promo, actually pretty fucking great promo, basically saying that if he's not going to blame the fans who are, under the age of 17 for being fans of Jeff Hardy, he's going to blame their parents, because Jeff Hardy's basically a gateway drug to smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, stuff like that. I thought that was a pretty awesome promo. Maybe it went a smidge too long, but still, I thought it was a fantastic promo. I honestly, when I saw Punk go out to the fans, I thought he was going to cut the exact same promo that he cut in FWA in England when he was having his feud with Raven, where he would just walk through the crowd and it's like, this is what you look up to, beer drinkers, and just, see someone take a swig of beer and say, what that's going to do to you in the long run, or, smoking, what that's going to do to you in the long run, something like that. But actually, he turned it up to be maybe a little bit better than that promo, to be honest with you. Then we went to the next match. It was the ECW Championship match, Christian versus Tommy Dreamer. Wow, for Tommy Dreamer to come back to Philadelphia, no one cared. Really, Tommy Dreamer's probably been the most unsuccessful champion of any brand in the WWE, or anyone in the WWE, for quite some time. And I guess I should say that while this was a Philadelphia, the show was in Philadelphia, this wasn't a Philadelphia crowd. This was definitely a crowd filled of younger or newer fans. Really not a crowd of older, Philadelphia fans that you remember from, ECW's day. So really, the match was there. Nothing too great about it. Just there. Christian wins with the kill switch and becomes ECW champion. Now, is this a good thing for Christian? More so maybe for the brand, because they have the belt on someone who's a strong worker. But it looks like his next program is gonna be with Vladimir Kozlov. Yeah, that's not gonna be fun for Christian, but whatever. well, you know, at least they had to get the belt off Dreamer, as he didn't do anything for anyone. It was cool when he won it the first time, and I guess it's kind of cool that he definitely went past everyone's expectations of how long he was going to have the belt, but really was a very unsuccessful champion. Then we went to the next match. It was the six-pack challenge for the United States Championship. It was Kofi Kingston defending the belt against Jack Swagger, MVP, Carlito, The Miz, and Primo, who got, you know, in the match because of Big Show being in the tag match. They took him out, which in the long run is for the best, because if Big Show in this whole feud was squashing young talent and not making them look good, happy they put Primo in because there's a good story in there between him and Carlito as well. Primo is such a great worker. I mean, he can tell that this man is genuinely happy to be wrestling in the WWE. For those of you who don't know, Primo was brought in to tag with Carlito to get Carlito going again, like Carlito was, you know, back in 2004, 2005. Well, that didn't happen, but Carlito still was leaps and bounds better than most people, and Carlito was the star of this match. Really, this is a fun match. Had some strong heat throughout it, which a lot of the matches on this show cannot say. Crowd was very emotionally involved, which is what you really want to do. Maybe, you know, storyline-wise, Primo comes off like a complete idiot for trusting his brother, again, to help him do all the dirty work. But I like some of this match where, you know, someone would get a pinfall and they just go into cradles. I liked that, where they weren't, you know, just doing too many spots. I thought this match worked out well. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and the finish, of course, came where after Carlito hit the backstabber on Primo, Kofi came out of nowhere with the Trouble in Paradise to retain the belt. Whatever, I'm fine with that. I maybe would have wanted to see Evan Bourne in here, just because that's really what the program whole started with, but whatever. We don't get Evan Bourne. Maybe at the next show we can get a one-on-one between Kofi and Evan Bourne, because I think that could be a really strong match there. And then we went to the Women's Championship match. This was Michelle McCool defending against Melina. Really good match for the Divas, I have to say that. Finish to me came out of nowhere, as they actually were building up something nice, but it just came out of nowhere in my opinion. They did some really good stuff. They worked really, really well. Maybe a bit too fast-paced for, I don't know, Melina. I think Melina may have overrushed some of the stuff she did, but still, this was a good match. I mean, they worked hard. Their chemistry actually worked better than you thought it would be. I believe from their last pay-per-view match, it was definitely leaps and bounds better than that. But I don't think the crowd really cared that much. I mean, this is definitely a match that made women's wrestling show that it can still be good. It's just something may have missed it from being really, really strong. I don't know what it was, but it still was a really good match. Definitely a good match that you should be, you know, thankful for. I liked some of the stuff they did. I liked the beginning spot in the match where you had Melina do her entrance, Michelle McCool baseball slide. Just wished that I had Michelle follow up and continue to get the heat, like work over the lower back or something. She just let Melina get in the ring and be like, let's have our match now. They did, but like I said, they did some cool spots, nice counters of, you know, slides or attempts at that, but good match. Let's just put it that way. Then we went to the triple threat for the WWE Championship, which, you know, I thought was kind of weird where they placed it, but it was kind of maybe nice to see it because you knew they were going to get a lot of time in here. This, to me, was match of the night. It was Randy Orton versus Triple H versus John Cena. Everyone worked really well together. We all know that these three, I should say, have strong chemistry together. And I guess, you know, Cena, while he's not the, you know, the brightest guy to have in this match since they've had matches before, it was nice to see someone in there instead of just Orton and Triple H again. But yeah, like I said, this match was good. The thing I liked about it is it looked like they were going to do a lot. You know, when you see rematches of triple threats, they do a lot of the same spots they did in the first match. I liked how they teased those. Like, there was the spot where Orton was going to do the double elevated DDTs, but Cena and Triple H got up and dropped Orton over the top rope to the floor. As well, they did the spot on the top rope where, if you remember, it was Orton getting caught in a cross-body block from Cena, or a power slam on Triple H's shoulders, or vice versa. Well, it looked like they were going to do that again, but they just had Orton crotch himself on the top rope. But yeah, this match was really, really good. The thing, I guess, that kind of hurt it was they had Triple H do a sharpshooter. Cena ran in and put a crossface on Orton, and they had Orton tap, and then you think, oh, there you go, beautiful. Now we can set up a rematch of the triple threat at SummerSlam and have it mean something, make the title be vacant, or just make the title go back to Orton by default. That's going to piss the fans off even more because they've had, he automatically lost, but because no clear winner, title goes back to the champion by default. But no, they just had him tap, and Kyoto's like, well, no. And he just stood there for a bit. And then DiBiase and Rhodes came in. Orton hits the RKO on Cena while Cody Rhodes is up for an attempted FU and gets the win. Good match. That's that's the only thing I'm going to gripe about. That's a big thing to actually gripe about, as they should have just held the belt up and gone with Orton defending against those two again at SummerSlam, and there's just this extra bit of heat. And they could all say, man, we beat you. We beat you. And then Triple H and Cena can get it back and forth, man. I had to move on. Whatever. Just go from there with that. That's just my only gripe on that. And maybe some of it, you thought that, they looked like they were building to the finish, and then they just continued for an extra 5 minutes or so. That's the only thing I can only gripe about it. But still, everyone worked well, and it was good. Best match on the show, in my opinion, like I just stated earlier. Then we went to the next match. This was Maryse versus Mickie James. Not a good match at all. Terrible, really. Way too much time for these two. I mean, Maryse, let's put it this way, has probably the best character of all the women in WWE, but can't wrestle at all. She's not good in the ring at all. Great character, actually a great promo for someone with a bit of a language barrier there, but still, she needs to be a manager or valet, something. She needs to do that. Never in the ring again. I don't need to see her in there. She's very green. It's very obvious of that. Mickie tried to do some stuff. They just did a lot of stuff. A lot of stalling in there, too. Like, Mickie just looked like, look, I don't know where to go from here. And this is Mickie James, one of the top women's wrestlers in the WWE. And maybe you can go around the world, but that may be pushing it. But not a good match at all. Way too much time. Like, the crowd was absolutely, completely silent for this. I'm not kidding you. Completely silent. So, Mickie got the win after she reversed Maryse's DDT to get the belt. Then we went to the next match. It was Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. They gave Dolph a lot in this match, which, they were trying to showcase Dolph as, being someone in the future. Actually, going into this match, it was booked that Dolph would go over Rey, but I guess they decided to make a change of plan, and more so, I think, for the better. As Rey just won the belt back at the last pay-per-view, and let's try to keep adding some credibility to this belt, as it's actually regained a smidge of credibility, and I'm going to say a whole lot of it, but still a smidge of credibility. So, they gave a lot to Dolph, and, crowd really wasn't that much into Dolph, but that's got to be more so to the fact that, a lot of people don't watch SmackDown because it's on a bad night, it's on a bad network, so that's something I'm just going to attribute to it. I thought Dolph did well with it, just the fact that, it was a bad placing of the match, too. Come on, you're coming off worst match on the show, and where there was no crowd heat, and it's really hard to get the crowd engaged after something like that. And, Rey, hit an Enziguri, 619, and then the splash, springboard splash off the top rope to get the victory. Hopefully they continue, and I would go with the title change at SummerSlam if you're going to do that, because then they can put on a better match or something like that. Because these two look like they have some chemistry going in it. They can continue a stronger build. Their build kind of got pushed a little bit to the side, so we'll go with that. I mean, I didn't like how their build basically was on superstars. That's a build you need to do on SmackDown. Anyways, then we went to the main event. It was CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. A good match, I gotta say that. Punk as a heel is just great in the ring. I had some mini flashbacks to ROH heel Punk. The thing I liked about this match, basically the story of this match, was Jeff tried to hit the Swanton and Punk kept countering it. Whether it was him rolling out of the ring or getting the knees up. Story of the match there. I thought it was a good match. Maybe it wasn't as still good as I thought that these two could go. But still, it was a good match. Crowd was there. They were involved in it. Not as much as I thought they would be, though, since this was Jeff Hardy in there. But yeah, it was a good match. Punk hit the GTS and kept trying to pin him. Couldn't put Jeff away. Rolled out of the ring. Took his belt, went to go home. And then Jeff came back in, hit a swanton, and got the win there. Good match. Obviously, Jeff Hardy, for the record, he's not re-signed. He's just extending to get actually a big pay-per-view bonus. If you work the Big Four, you get a bigger bonus. Especially since Jeff will be in a big match. Probably in a rematch against Punk or something. Hopefully, you got to continue with Punk because obviously Punk's the most logical guy to put the belt back on at this moment. So, that's just what I gotta say. Overall, like I said, thumbs in the middle. If you want to know about getting the replay, I really wouldn't recommend getting it. It was just a lot of good matches and average and one bad, terribly match. But other than that, maybe if you want to get the DVD, I'd say maybe wait a couple months to get it if you want to. Like when it gets to $10 or something at a bin at like a Walmart or somewhere like that. That's just what I gotta say on it. I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. So, anyways, that's really it for me on there. Oh, I guess before I go, today ROH made a big announcement where they're moving their show from HDNET's 8 o'clock slot on Saturdays. They're moving it to 8 o'clock on Mondays, which to me, this is a big thing for the better. I think this is for the better because, look, the Saturday slot is not a good thing, especially at 8. People go out. They have other priorities. You know, a lot of people aren't watching Ring of Honor, you know, especially since it's on HDNet, which is a specialty channel, and they don't even get ratings or count ratings for that matter. But now you have the show on a night where people stay home. It's a start of prime time, and, you know, for the wrestling fan, now they get, you know, some good pro wrestling before they can, you know, watch their WWE entertainment stuff. And it's a nice little lead-in to build you up for Raw, I guess. I mean, they're not trying to compete with WWE. I mean, they're on a really, really low network, not even getting ratings, like I said. So I think it's for the better. You know, for ROH to try and brand themselves more, I don't think the Saturday night helped. The Saturday night was fine for like first month or so, because, you know, it's the ROH on TV, and let's see what it can look like and what it'll do. But now you know, move it to a Monday night, more fans will be there, more of the diehards will be there, and even some casuals may tune in. So we'll see where things go with that. But anyways, really, I'm looking forward to this. This is a big thumbs up. Anyways, that's it for me. I am out. Peace.